The American dream, it's a powerful idea, right? Work hard, buy a home, build a life. But lately, that dream is feeling more like a nightmare for many Americans. Homeownership, once a symbol of stability and success, is becoming increasingly out of reach. Why? Because the costs are skyrocketing. We're not just talking about rising house prices, although those are bad enough. No, everything about owning a home is getting more expensive. Mortgage interest rates, through the roof, insurance premiums, climbing faster than a squirrel on a feeder, and don't even get me started on property taxes. It's a perfect storm of financial pressure, and it's pushing the dream of homeownership further and further away for millions. For those lucky enough to already own a home, it's a constant struggle to hold on to it. For those hoping to buy, the future looks bleak. Don't just take my word for it though, let's hear from the people living this nightmare every day. Meet Meg. She's a teacher and she loves her job, but lately her paycheck doesn't seem to stretch as far. Half of it goes straight to housing costs. She even had to take out a second mortgage just to cover some urgent repairs. Then there's Bernie and his wife. They've worked hard their entire lives, but now they're facing an impossible choice. Pay for their home or pay for their healthcare. They're actually considering selling their house and living in an RV just to make ends meet. It's heartbreaking. And it's not just individual stories, this crisis is affecting entire communities. In disaster-prone areas, insurance premiums are becoming so high that people are being forced to choose between insuring their homes and putting food on the table. It's a lose-lose situation. The worst part? It feels like nobody is listening. Politicians talk a big game about helping the middle class, but when it comes to actually doing something about this crisis, they're all talk and no action. Now let's talk about the young people, the ones who are just starting out. They're looking at this housing market and thinking, what chance do I have? The answer, sadly, is not much. High prices and interest rates have turned homeownership into an exclusive club, and the entry fee is getting steeper by the day. Imagine being a young couple, fresh out of college, excited to start your lives together. You've got good jobs, you're responsible with your money, you're doing everything right. But then you start looking at houses and you realize that even with a decent down payment, the monthly mortgage payments would be more than your rent. And that's before you factor in all the other expenses that come with owning a home. So, what do? Do you keep renting knowing that you're throwing your money away every month, or do you take on a mountain of debt just for the privilege of owning a tiny piece of the American dream? It's a no-win situation, and it's forcing a whole generation to delay major life milestones like getting married, having kids, and putting down roots. Look, this isn't the first time America has faced a housing crisis. Back in the 1970s, Utah had a similar problem. House prices were soaring, interest rates were high, and people were struggling to afford homes. But instead of throwing up their hands in defeat, they actually did something about it. The state created a program that offered first-time homebuyers lower mortgage interest rates through municipal bonds. It was innovative, it was effective, and it helped a lot of people achieve the dream of homeownership. So what happened? Well, in the 1980s, some politicians decided that helping people buy homes wasn't a good use of taxpayer money. They passed a law that made it much harder for states to offer these kinds of programs. And guess what? The housing crisis got worse. Fast forward to today, and we're right back where we started. The very programs that could help make housing more affordable have been gutted, and the people who need them the most are the ones paying the price. It's time to stop repeating the mistakes of the past and start demanding better. This isn't just about numbers on a spreadsheet, people. It's about real lives, real families, real dreams being crushed under the weight of this crisis. We can't afford to stay silent any longer. We need to come together and demand action from our leaders. We need policies that make housing more affordable, that protect renters from predatory landlords, and that give everyone a fair shot at achieving the American dream. So, I'm asking you to join me. Call your representatives, write to your senators, make your voices heard. Let's remind them that housing is a right, not a privilege. It's time to fix this mess, once and for all. Let's put housing first. And if you made it to the end of this segment, please consider tapping the like button, clicking subscribe, and toggling that notification bell. Don't forget to leave us a comment, and thank you until next time.